Well, howdy there, y'all. Yamasaki here, and welcome back to the Ye Old channel. And today is part 3, the finale of restoring the 1939 to 1940 Briggs and Stratton Model A engine. So let's rock and roll. As you can see, I got quite the mess on the old table here, and as I said in the previous video, part 2, I was going to be doing a couple of things off camera just to make part 3 and just putting this whole thing back together easier. And the only thing I did not do was putting the magneto back on the magneto backing plate. And the reason why I did not do that is because originally I took that thing off of the backing plate before I took the backing plate off. So I'm going to just do the opposite. Put the backing plate on, then I'm going to put that on, and hopefully it doesn't just magically break. But yeah, I'll go over the couple of things that I have done off camera, and then we're going to get into all of this. So I've pretty much got every single nut and bolt painted or cleaned. Every part's been painted and cleaned, I'm pretty sure. So everything is ready to go. As I mentioned in the previous video, I was going to redo the mounting holes on the stand here. Was able to do that. Was able to completely custom build a new oil pan gasket, and this thing, I tell you what, is thick. It's like a 16-inch thick. Went to Napa and they didn't have anything thinner, so I went, oh hell, it'll work. It's not perfect. I had to make some holes a little bit bigger so everything will line up, and it's a little bit under tension when these are lined up, and you have to line these up. But when everything goes together, no oil is going to get through that. No way. No way. So we're good on that. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I did off camera. Now we're going to get into all of this. The block is still here, waiting to get some machining done on it. So that's what we're going to do in this video, is we're going to hone it out, and we're going to lap the valves, and hopefully, yeah, it's pretty good. I am going to pretty much partially assemble this thing off camera just because I'm going to need to pay attention to a couple things. The timing and getting the valves in, they were a pain in the ass to get out, so they're going to be a pain in the ass to put back in. Even with the right valve spring compressor, it's a daunting task. I got to put everything back in the crankcase breather here. I just got to pop that thing off and put everything in it, which is a couple of plates and some fibrous, spongy looking material, and put it back on, and yeah, then we'll go on from there. As for these things here, well, this is the collection of parts that I have amassed for this restoration. I got all these parts from antiquebriggs.com, and I'm going to go over each one. This was the first package that I got in here. Well, I'll show you guys these in a minute, but got some gaskets in there. And those are quite important gaskets that we'll go over. I got a points plunger. I have no idea what the hell this thing is made of. Bakelite or some sort of plastic, maybe even wood. I have no idea. I have the original, but I figured, well, maybe this thing will help that little magneto a little bit better. Got a whole new carburetor kit. It is for the specific carburetor on this engine, and look at all those parts. Gaskets, jets, needle. Oh man, that was a bargain right there. Now over here, oh well, over here, these are the beautiful, beautiful pieces. I'm only waiting on one more part to come in, and that is a new set of standard piston rings. And those will go beautifully with all of these. Managed to snag brand new old stock wrist pin with these clips for the piston. And I managed to get a brand, and I mean a brand spanking new connecting rod. Look at that. Look at that. Doesn't come with the, I don't know what you would call those, the safety washers or whatever that you got to fold up, so I'll just rob those off the old cap. This connecting rod did come with a splash pin, and whatever this is, I'm not entirely sure how these pieces go together. Maybe like that. I don't know, but this one, I guess, was meant to go with a splash pin, which is this thing if you didn't have the oil pump in the bottom of your sump. So yeah, these are gonna hopefully breathe new life into this old engine. I'm really hoping, because especially these two parts, they were fairly expensive. They weren't the cheapest parts you can buy. And before I forget, I'm getting a new spark plug wire, because this one, its services are done. It is retired. But that is it for the parts. Now we're going to move on to the tools that I bought for this thing. I'm going to start over here with this flex hone. This is a 120 grit flex hone designed for 2.250 or 2¼ inch bore. It's a little rougher on the rough side for hones, but I think it'll do just fine if I put enough lubrication in there and just pay attention and do a good job. Should breathe some new horsepowers into this thing. 1 3/4 horsepower. Let's make it 2. We're going to go for 2. And I also got a ring expander just to help me out with the rings, and a piston ring compressor. That was a package deal, so got that. But, oh, I got to step back a minute. These are the most important pieces right here. See, these, you would think, are valve lapping tools. Well, you're right, but you're also wrong. These are the special edition valve lapping tools, the double-ended stick with sucker cups. These babies right here are like gold, I'm telling you what. Anyway, enough of my babbling. We're going to go ahead and get to work. So, we got to finish up this block here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hone it out. So, I just cleaned it off with some xylene, both here and here. I'm going to do these another day. Just focus on the bore for tonight. And yeah, got it clean. So I got to put some oil in it, put some oil on the hone, and yeah, let's get that done. Alright, I got oil in both the bore and the hone. Now, because this thing is so damn gritty, 120 grit, I'm going to do just a couple passes at a time, and then I'm going to check and see how we're looking. That's all I'm going to do, and then I'm going to check it. Alright, that's what I got out of about maybe 7 seconds in total worth of honing. And that is one sharp hone. I mean, look at that. That is clean cross hatching. It really didn't take long at all to get that gone. I'm going to do maybe like 2 or 3 more passes up and down and call it good, because it really just looks like I didn't really get down below in the cylinder, which doesn't really matter because your rings aren't going down all the way down there. But I want it to be uniform, you know. You always want your cylinder to be equal in every spot, top, middle, bottom, you know. That's just, engines wear weird, man, you know. So, got to make sure they're in good shape to run well. So, yeah, I'm going to do a couple more passes, call it good, get some oil on it so the dang thing don't rust, and then it's on to lapping the valves. So I went ahead and did the intake valve off camera. Actually turned out pretty good. Really nice. See, there's the exhaust valve. It hasn't been done yet. And there is the intake valve. Let me see if I can zoom in. Kind of gives it like a dullish gray color, but from the looks of it, it's actually pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up to do the exhaust valve, and we'll get that one out of the way. Righto, so I got some valve lapping compound on the exhaust valve. It's all ready to go. Had it soaking in an oil bag just to preserve it from rusting. Just going to stick it down in like so. Don't need that glove anymore. And I'll take my fancy dancy sucker cup double-ended stick here. Put that on like so. Now I did this first pass for maybe about 5 minutes, and then I checked it, I cleaned it, and I did it a few more times, and called it good. So just going to get this done. And then we can start putting it back together. So here's where I'm at, folks. Look at that. Got a lot of stuff on it now. It's pretty much down to the bare bones. I tell you though, it's been quite the journey to get to this point. Ran into a hiccup, as you usually do on a project like this, and that was when I was trying to get the piston back in. I got a new set of rings. Came with the wrong size oil ring, so I had to buy a whole new one. But before I did that, I tried to reuse the original oil ring because it seemed like it was in good enough shape, and then I had 2 new compression rings and ended up chipping that oil ring in 3 different places. So then I had to buy a whole new set just for that ring. So I'm now the owner of 72 new compression rings plus original rings and a broken oil ring. So I got all those. But we got past that and now we're here just finishing touches. Got to finish up the governor. Got a couple more pieces on the governor to get on. Can put the muffler on anytime I want. It's not really in the way of anything. Haven't done the carburetor yet. Haven't gone through that. I'm going to completely put the whole engine back together before I even, start working on the carburetor. That way, when it's all done, I can just slap it on, put some gas to it, put some oil in it, and see what happens. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. Just going to keep on rolling. Well, there she be, folks, all put back together and in one piece. Even have the carburetor on right there, but I have not put the rebuild kit on it yet. And there's a reason for that. Because last night, when I got to about this stage of it being all back in one piece, I was trying to turn it over with the hand crank there, and I was having a really hard time doing so. And, well, it not being on a base contributed to that, but I found some scoring on the inside of that flywheel there, which makes me think at some point in this engine's life, it suffered a catastrophic failure and really scorched up the magneto. And I was correct. This is a dead engine. My worst fears have come true, y'all, because it has absolutely no spark. It has a shit ton of compression because of those new rings and the hone job and the lap to valves that we put in there, but no spark. None. Damn it. It's really unfortunate. It is really unfortunate. It suffers the same fate as the hit and miss engine. That one I can't get running. This one I can't get running now. Now, I was able to find a magneto, a refurbished one, that will fit this engine, but it's a hefty 150 some bucks. And unfortunately, I don't have the funds to buy that part, nor do I have any more time to take this engine apart and, get it running. It's really unfortunate. It sucks. But that's, that's the name of the game on these old engines, and just being a shade tree mechanic or, building stuff, whatever have you. You're going to have your ups and downs, and it's just a sucky experience sometimes. I even couldn't get these screws to line up on those holes that, bolt the shroud to the head here. I can't even get those aligned for some reason. It's weird, man. It's really weird. So, yep. Unfortunately, I can't fire this thing up for you guys because it's a dead engine without spark. It's pretty much just a display piece for the remainder of its life right now. And you know what? Maybe someday I might be able to find the part and put it back together, but like I said, I don't have the time right now. I spent maybe a month and a half on this engine, which actually, it went by pretty quick, quicker than I anticipated. And we ran into some hiccups and found out that No spark. And it could be just the spark plug too. I think this is the original one. I can't remember if I dipped that in evapor rust or not. 'Cause if I remember correctly, this whole thing was pretty darn rusty. So it could very well just be the spark plug, but I'm pretty sure it's the magneto, judging by those scoring marks on the flywheel. It sucks, y'all. It sucks. I really wanted to hear this thing putt-putt and, have another engine running. But it's not the case with this one. No sirree, Bob. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment for more content. And Yamasaki out. We'll see y'all later. And keep on wrenching.